Are you able to summon your talent at will? So when you have to write or produce or direct, are you able to just call it up?
I think so, and I think I can summon it at will when I'm up against or past a deadline.
Yeah. Thank you for admitting we all run past deadlines every now and then. At least finally, I guess someone on the show admits that we miss
I,
deadlines sometimes.
I mean, it's really after a deadline that I will summon everything. And I think actually, weirdly, when I'm up against something is when I get some of the best spurts.
You're a
It's
pressure
either
cooker.
a pressure cooker for sure, or in the shower. I know that's trite, but it's true. And when I go for long walks or I go for runs.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really cool. There was a website, I don't know if it still exists anymore, but it was called Structured Procrastination. And this professor wrote a whole thing about how like whatever is like deadlines don't become important until they're passed. That was one of his principles. And it's so great to be a professor. And secondly, his whole thing was like there's something I don't want to do, but then what I wait for is something I want to do even less. And then I do the thing I don't want to do. Then I come to that. He's like, so it's structured. It just cascades all the way down. I'm like, what an approach to life. I'm sure you get requested to do things all the time. We have limited resources. How do you say no to people?
Um,
And that could be in the
well,
context of
well,
projects that come across your desk that you said, you know what, this isn't a fit or whatever, or in your personal life. Sorry, I should have extended the question a little more, however you'd like to interpret it.
I mean, I think it depends on also what people are asking for.
Hmm.
And if it's work related, then what I'm starting to get better at acknowledging, even for myself, is my capacity because I can get very excited about the possibility of something, but not then I have to actually weigh in, you know, what experience does the person have who's asking me for the thing, and where am I going to fill in the gaps? Um, and have we all done this before? Are we growing? Are we just problem solving? Is that what this project is? Like, I'm being brought into, to put out fires. Am I building with?
Hmm.
Am I adding to?
Hmm.
Is this, and I think that's a big part of like, you know, decisions I'm going to be making. But also, what else do I have going on currently that this addition can take away from? Because you can't add something without knowing where something's got to give. And and I think that projects can, move and suddenly you'll have everything happening at once, or there'll be quiet periods. And so I think always kind of buffering a cushion of just space just for yourself is necessary. So I think I definitely am kind of trying to be better at evaluating. And there have been times I've said yes, and then I've learned pretty early that possibly this is not something that makes the most sense now that we've been able to like have some, chance to work on things together. And I think I can still say no then or
Right.
make an adjustment then, because if I feel like we're going to get caught up in something else that actually is not even about the work itself or about the project itself and it's interpersonal, that's wasted time for everybody.
Hmm.
And so I think that, with the creative space, you have like so many personalities coming together, and some will be better at working together and not. And depending on where everybody's at, everyone's always at a different place when they're meeting to make something together, you know, whether it's like financial, emotional, health wise. And
Hmm.
so I think you have to, ask yourself, I mean, a big gauge for me is, am I going to be growing in a direction that I need to be in this point for myself? What am I learning? I'd rather work with people who know way more than me, because then I know where I get to evolve and be. I don't look at it from a place of like feeling intimidated or wanting to control anything. I'd rather not control anything at all. So I think my attitude is like to always be a student. Um, and so I think, a friend of mine gave me advice saying you start to move into a place of power when you actually say no more than yes.
Yeah, that's a great that's a great way to put it. And Mark Twain once wrote or said, I wasn't there, it's easier to stay out than get out. So to your point about like sometimes we have those feelings of like I think I should say no to this, but for some reason I said yes. Maybe I felt pressured, etc. But I think we have that in our heart of hearts and our soul. That's like, oh man, if I should have just listened to my gut on this one because now it's harder to like when you're already down the pike. Sometimes you're like, let me just wrap it up, but you're like, there's no wrapping it up. We're just starting. We have months to go on this thing, and it's easier just to pull out now. So let's turn a little bit to towards you as a person.
Oh
What
gosh.
would it mean to pull a Shruti? If someone's like, "Wow, she just pulled a Shruti," what would that be?
I mean, I think whenever I start a conversation with someone, the first question they say is, "Where are you? What country are you in? What
Mm-hmm.
city are you in?" Because I do travel quite a lot for work. I'm a very patient partner. But pulling a Shruti, I think, is showing up. And I think maybe people are sometimes confused. It's like a Where's Waldo thing. It's like, where's Shruti? But she's suddenly there.
Yeah.
But as best as I can, I try and be there. And that I am probably in this like kind of perma state of jet lag, but somehow I'm awake still cruising through.
Yeah,
That's
that's
also pulling a Shruti.
cool. I love that. That's really awesome. What pisses you off? Has anything ever made you so mad you endeavored to change it? Obviously, some of this is, injustice, gender-based violence. You gave us this example. You not only listened to this woman, but also you showcased her story. So that's a clear example of one of those. But if you want to share another one.
Oh, what pisses me off? I mean, I don't know. I think, you know, what pisses me off is when, oh gosh, I have so many things and there's just too many things rattling in my brain.
I
I'm
see the
really
gears
trying,
turning. Like, which one do I
I,
pick here?
I'm really trying to pick one. What's a recent one? I know this may sound really basic and, maybe my name, Shruti, it's like refers to the truth from sound and that makes me a shitty liar. And what pisses me off are liars who think that they're good at it because I'm like, what? It never does any good. I'm like, why don't you just be really transparent and honest? And it's going to get really fucking uncomfortable for everybody. And that's fine.
I love that. I think that's where truth is. And as a comedian, of course, I completely agree with you because that's where we play. We play in the things that are true, that may be painful, but are hopefully helpful. And I think that there's a three-legged stool piece of that. Like, is what you're gonna say, is it true or is it false? Is it helpful or is it harmful? Is it easy to share or hard to share? Things like that.
I mean, I said, not that this pissed me off, but this is an example where, last night my husband and I, we had dinner and we ran into someone that we actually really did not want to run into and we hadn't seen them in a long time. And my husband ended the conversation being like, "Oh yeah, next time I'm in town, I'm gonna, give you a call." And I was like,
That's great.
why would you say that? That's not
I always
even
look at it from the
true.
aspect of like, oh, this is you wanted to get out of the conversation. I'm like, instead of on this trip, next time I come, I'm going to. But you're right. That's a
I'm
lie.
like, that's a lie. I mean, not that that pissed me off, but I'm like,
Sure.
I even at that point, I'm like, if it's not true, just don't say it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, don't, just don't.
Yeah. There's a great Curb Your Enthusiasm where, obviously Larry David, the main character, is friends with his manager, Jeff, and he and Cheryl, his wife, are standing there and he goes, "Oh, do you want to have dinner before the show tomorrow night?" And they're like, "Nah." And then Cheryl goes, "We have something." And Larry goes, "No, we don't have anything. We just don't want to have dinner with you tomorrow night."
So
It's just
that's it.
like,
It's like me and Larry David. I
yeah.
love it,
I love that. It's like they're best friends. It's like he's not dissing him. He just like, no, I don't want to have dinner with you tomorrow night. There doesn't need to be an explanation. No, we don't have to make anything up. It's like I'm just not up for it tomorrow. Like, cool, we're friends. Maybe we'll do it another time. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I would be that character in my life.
I love that. And Indy and Larry David, that's what I always think of myself as well. So we're kindred spirits.